Governor Ron DeSantis is considered a rising star in Republican circles and one of the top frontrunners to challenge Donald Trump in the 2024 race for the White House. But what does a DeSantis presidential run mean for Florida? Just recently, the state legislature passed a bill that would allow DeSantis to remain governor if he were to run for president.
An implication from a political standpoint is that he can still, if you will, speak from the podium as being a sitting governor, which will play well in Florida.
Professor L. Edwin Benton teaches political science at the University of South Florida campus in Tampa. He says DeSantis could soon declare he's running for president now that the legislative session is over, but he's skeptical about how this came to be.
The legislature do what it did, and that was to hand him on a silver platter a lot of legislation which comports with his anti-woke and other things that he's been saying in the press. So he can speak with a level of, let's say, higher authority, so to speak.
Professor Benton says looking at this strategically, he believes DeSantis remaining governor could give ammunition to his opponents.
How do you expect him to tend to the needs of you as a U.S. citizen if he doesn't tend to the needs and of his own citizens in the state of Florida? So he's going to catch a lot of flack.
He says the recent flooding in Fort Lauderdale down in South Florida is a prime example of an incident that could be later used against him. Fort Lauderdale city leaders criticized DeSantis for not checking in. He was on a book promotion tour in Ohio at the time.
There have been echoes around the state and loud voices complaining he's not tending to business.
Professor Benton says DeSantis will have to find a balance to show Floridians that he could still lead as governor while campaigning for president, and how to respond to his opponents who argue you can't possibly do both. Professor Benton says he expects Governor DeSantis to make his presidential campaign announcement soon. Jeff Van Sant, Spectrum News.